Be ready. Start. A policy statement on small scale industries was made by the government in Parliament. It was stated at that time that suitable legislation would be brought to ensure prompt payment of money by buyers to the small industrial units. Inadequate working capital in a small scale or an ancillary industrial undertaking causes serious and endemic problems affecting the health of such undertakings. Industries in this sector have also been demanding that adequate measures be taken in this regard. The Small Scale Industries Board, which is an apex advisory body on policies relating to small scale industrial units with representatives from all the states, governmental bodies, and the industrial sector, also expressed this view. It was therefore felt that prompt payments of money by buyers should be statutorily ensured and mandatory provisions for payment of interest on the outstanding money in case of default should be made. The buyers, if required under law to pay interest, would refrain from withholding payment to small scale and ancillary industrial undertakings. An ordinance, namely the Interest on Delayed Payments to Small Scale and Ancillary Industrial Undertakings Ordinance 1992, was therefore promulgated by the President on 23rd September 1992. The long title of the Act reads as an act to provide for and regulate the payment of interest on delayed payments to small scale and ancillary industrial undertakings and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. The Act, though enacted on 2nd April 1993 by a legal fiction, is deemed to have come into effect from the date of promulgation of the ordinance, that is 23rd September 1992. The provisions of the Act largely deal with the liability of the buyer to make payment for supplies, determination of the date from which and the rate at which interest is payable to the supplier from the buyer, liability of the buyer to pay compound interest, recovery of the amount due to the supplier from the buyer, and other provisions relating to appeal, etc. Section 2, subclause B of the Act defines the meaning of the expression appointed day to mean the day following immediately after the expiry of the payment period of 30 days from the date of payment, acceptance of any goods or any services by a buyer from a supplier. Section 3 of the Act imposes a statutory liability upon the buyer to make payment for the supplies of any goods either on or before the appeal date or where there is no agreement before the appointed day. Section 4 provides for the award of interest where the price has not been paid within time. Section 4 provides for the liability of the buyer to pay compound interest. Section 6 of the Act gives a right to the buyer to file a civil suit. Section 10 of the Act gives overriding effect to any other law which are inconsistent with the provisions of the Act. The opening words of Section 6, subclause 1, the amount due from the buyer, together with the amount of interest, can only mean that the principal sum due from the buyer as well as or along with the amount of interest calculated under the provisions of the Act are recoverable. The word together here would mean as well as or along with. This cannot mean that the principal sum must be due on the date of the filing of the suits. The suits are maintainable for recovery of the outstanding principal amount, if any, along with the amount of interest on the delayed payments as calculated under sections 4 and 5 of the Act. We are unable to agree with that if the principal sum is not due, no suit would lie for the recovery of the interest on the delayed payments which might have already accrued. If such an interpretation is given, the very object of enacting the Act would be frustrated. The Act had been enforced to see that small scale industries get the payment regarding supply made by them within the prescribed period, and in case of delay in payments, the interest would be at a much higher rate, 1.5 times of lending rate charged by State Bank of India. The obligation of payment of higher interest under the Act is mandatory. Sections 4 and 5 of the Act of 1993 contain a non obstante clause, that is, notwithstanding anything contained in any agreement between the buyer and the supplier. In other words, the parties to the contract cannot even contract out of the provisions of the 1993 Act, even if such provision that interest under the Act on delay meant would not be chargeable is incorporated in the contract. Sections 4 and 5 of the Act of 1993 would still prevail as the very wording of these sections indicate. Take, for instance, that the buyer has not paid the outstanding amount of the supply by the due date. After much delay, he offers the outstanding amount of the supply to the supplier. If the argument of the learned counsel for the appellant is to be accepted, then if the supplier accepts entire amount, he would be losing his right to recover the amount of interest on the delayed payment under the Act. Thank you.